joining us today on Around the Peninsula. I'm Maria Serrao. We are here today at the UCLA South Bay campus for the RPV Wildfire Resource event. This is an excellent opportunity for our residents to learn more about fire safety, which we know is so important, and harden their homes.
This event is super important for a few reasons. We have a similar geography as Malibu, and we don't want to see what happened in the Pacific Palisades ever happen here. And the first thing we can do, aside from the city's readiness and our first responders' readiness, is get the community to take steps to, one, stop fires from happening, not be the source of the fire, but two, create defensible space and harden their homes. Because when a major fire comes through, and if we have crazy winds, which could definitely happen in our area, having community that do defensible space and that create, make their homes more hardened will provide a stop to the fire. It can literally save not just their homes, but the entirety of our community. And that's especially important, not just because of our geography, but because of the limited egress routes we have. So of course it's important to have a kit and to be prepared and to sign up for Alert South Bay so you get the emergency alerts. But even more so, taking those steps to mitigate fires, you can be the fire break. Your community, your home can stop the fire and stop something from being catastrophic. And you can save lives, and not just your property, not just your own, but your whole community, all your neighbors and friends can be saved by taking these steps. So we found it was really vital to get this information in detail to the community and get some vendors out too, so that you don't just hear about it. You're able to go and talk to someone and say, yes, I need to do these steps and I can do something. So right now we have the firescaping presentation going on. That's huge. And not everything costs a bunch of money. You can do things like just clear up the first 5 feet of your home to prevent a fire. You can take out your trash and clean out your gutters for free, and that can be the difference between you having a home and not when a wildfire strikes. So readiness is really important, but mitigation and prevention is our key to safety when it comes to wildfires. RPV's Council of Homeowners Associations is our partner in this event, along with UCLA South Bay, and CHOA really went all out in finding the vendors that are here and inviting them and coordinating all of those resources for us. So they've been a wonderful partner in this, and it's important to work with those community groups, because the government can tell you whatever the government wants to tell you, but I think that hearing it from your neighbors, hearing it from your local HOAs and your neighborhood groups, it goes a longer way, and I think it amplifies this message that is so important for our community to hear.
CHOA's mission is to basically advocate for the residents of the city, and so we look at education as a major part of our mission, and there's nothing more important than fire safety at this point, and so that's why we were glad to join with the city to sponsor this. It's so important, and we have lots of great vendors here who have just unbelievable information. In fact, I was just talking to one over there a little bit ago, and he was telling me about all the state and local grants that are available to homeowners, and so he's gonna give me the information to contact the appropriate government entity to spread that out to our residents, and so it's already helped me and helped the organization just holding it.
You know, it's interesting because obviously fire safety is so important, especially in Southern California. And when you walk around to the different booths, you see so many unique ways that you can really harden your home. How do you find everyone?
Well, there's a great organization called California Fire Safe Council, and they have a wonderful website. They actually have a list of vendors that have been vetted for their products, and so that was a starting point for us, and then it's interesting, we also find out about really good vendors through other vendors that they've been working with, and so we just kind of try to build on it each year.
And I know at your booth today you've got a giveaway. Tell us what else is going on here.
Yeah, well, we're just trying to let people know a little bit about CHOA, encourage any HOAs to join if they would like to, and we have a bunch of raffles that we're going to give out of emergency kits, emergency equipment, and that kind of thing.
So what we specialize is in installing the ember-resistant mesh, wildfire defenses mesh. It's the 1/16 inch opening. Any ember that can get through is said to be too small to ignite anything in the attic. So it's a very simple upgrade. We upgrade from the rodent mesh, which is the 1/4 inch mesh, to a stainless steel woven 1/16 inch opening. Blocks 98% of embers. And then what we really specialize to is removing ladder fuels, brush clearing on hillsides, trying to reduce wildfire behavior.
WaterX is my newest line of fire pumps, and they're based out of Montreal, Canada. And I literally just got this dealership 2 weeks ago, and I can't believe it. I've been wanting to work with WaterX for over 5 years now. WaterX is a line of fire pumps that typically here in Rancho, Palos, Verdes would be using pool water, and you put a suction line in the pool, connect it to the pump, fill the pump head with water, and start the engine, and suddenly you have a little micro fire engine in your backyard. It's really cool.
And then
Yeah.
how easy is it for a normal person to use?
Really simple, actually. It's just a matter of making sure that the pump has water in it. Obviously, there's fresh fuel in the gas tank. It's like owning a little motorcycle, basically. It's that easy, and whether it's a pull start with the simple models or a key start, it would be like literally turning on your car.
And how did you get involved in this?
Back in 2018, when the campfire burned down the city of Paradise, it really made me mad. And also at the same time, Woolsey Fire was burning through Agoura and Malibu. I'm like, why are people losing their homes when there's a big fat source of water in their backyard? And at that point, I started researching pumps and started brush fire battle systems.
We're holding an event here today for wildfire preparedness, and that's critical in Rancho Palos Verdes because we have a potential of large brush fires in this area. And if we don't have a general sense of understanding of the hazards and widespread compliance with the standards for brush clearance and home hardening, we don't have the community resilience and safety we need to prevent major conflagration events like happened in Los Angeles last year. So this event here is allowing various vendors to come and present their products. Most of these products have been certified by the state fire marshal. Once the state fire marshal approves a product for sale to the public, that means they've looked at it and realized that this is a good concept for people to have as one option to purchase in order to home harden their property.
We basically get between you and the embers that are flying in before a fire. They come miles ahead. And what we do is we create a parameter around your home with our water systems. They go on the rooftops as well as the surrounding areas so that we can cover everything with water, including your brush. And then we also help you do home hardening. So not only do we come over there and show you our systems, but we do preventative so that the embers do not get inside your home and combust your home from the inside out. That's very important because there's a lot of gaps and different things that you don't see with your eye that we can see when we get up there into your home, and we're able to tell you what to do. Very simple. We create zones so that each zone can work on its own. We're also automated, so you can turn the system on from any country in the world or even any city if you're not home. So that really helps you get everything going. And when the fire department can't make it to your house is safer than most because you've taken that step so that they can go to critical places and use their resources wisely.
And we also, for the homeowners that have swimming pools, we have the system that could hook up to your swimming pool just in case the city turns off the water for any reason as a backup system. And again, like Lisa said, we could have it run manually or automatically. Either way it works. And what you see here is the system hookup from the pump and the pool coming into the system, going up to your roof, to your sprinkler head, right on top. And as you can see here, all the pipes, those are copper pipes that are painted to match the color of your home. So you'll not notice any pipes or anything going up to the roof. At the same time, our system does not interrupt your water at home. It's only turned on in case of a fire, so there's no interruption whatsoever.
Hello, I'm Kaylin, I'm the Community Services Liaison for the County of Los Angeles Fire Department. This event is important to us because we need to really spread education and awareness about the high fire zones up on the peninsula, and just to give basic information that we can be proactive instead of reactive when we have an emergency. The big importance of using a fire extinguisher is very basic, because we all figure that when it has an emergency or when something occurs, we're just going to know how to do it, and practice makes perfect. So we use an acronym for PASS, very simple for pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. Just a simple thing that you can do to go ahead and extinguish a fire.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Tina McCoy, and I'm with Lomita Sheriff Station. I am the Community Relations Sergeant there. Today we're basically here to talk about our role in evacuations regarding wildfires. We gave a presentation, Deputy Clotworthy, who's a part of my team, gave a presentation just on what our role is and what we expect of the community, just the community knowing, how to access the Genesis app. And it's very important for the community to be here today, just to kind of get, information from all the different entities and, what our role is concerning wildfire. I think the most important thing, for us, is just knowing how to, like I said, access the Genesis app, knowing when to evacuate, knowing what an evacuation order is, and knowing what an evacuation warning is as well. And if they're asked to shelter in place, we ask that they shelter in place until they are told to evacuate otherwise. Like I said, our role is evacuations, our role is traffic control, and our role is also just making sure that, the community is safe.
So through the Red Cross, after every home fire, we have disaster action team that would come and respond to, help out the families after the home fire. So you could go through called the local chapters of every city that you're in. We're in the South Bay area, so our chapter is in the Long Beach chapter. So after home fire, just call our disaster action team, and we have responder there and also caseworker there to respond to help out the residents.
We're with West Basin Municipal Water District with a water wholesaler in the South Bay area. We sell imported drinking water to the local cities and water companies. And today we're here to promote water conservation and firescaping. Today we hired Douglas Kent. He's a professor. He'll be talking today at 1:15 in the auditorium there, teaching about how to protect your home from fires. And so we're here to promote water conservation and firescaping. Firescaping is using proper plans, practices around your house, but we also have rebates at West Basin for grass removal, grass replacement. We offer free classes at West Basin, free tours of our water recycling facility in the city of El Segundo. We take wastewater and turn it back into drinking water at our facility, and so you can tour it for free and learn how we do that as a way to conserve water as well. And so for the last few years, ever since the Woolsey Fire 2017 in Malibu, we've been partnering with the cities, Malibu, Topanga, and all the 4 cities on the peninsula here in Palos Verdes to provide free firescaping classes. We've hired Douglas Kent, who wrote the book on firescaping, and so we've been providing these classes every year. So we rotate through the different classes. We rotate through the different cities providing the free classes. And just want to introduce Douglas Kent. He's our professor on firescaping. He wrote the book on firescaping, and he teaches the classes for us.
Firescaping is just a method of home site protection. That's it. So it starts with the heart, the structure, works with the 5 feet, 30 feet out, and then to the property line. And it's just how to create a beautiful, functional landscape that's fire resistant and fire retardant. The idea here is you save yourself. You could save your neighbor and your block. It's not a personal thing. It's a community thing. It's a neighborhood thing. And so doing these neighborhood events with people like this is so inspiring. And so we hope you get on it. Don't worry about your neighbor's bush. Concentrate on your house and you should be okay.
Well, after we saw what happened in Altadena and the Pacific Palisades, it is so important to make sure your homes are as hard as possible for wildfires. RPV, by and large, is in a very high fire zone. Some of it is just a high fire zone, but both of them are in danger if we have a wildfire. And just making your home as hard as possible to make sure that we are as resilient as possible just makes good sense. After Pacific Palisades and Altadena, we really have seen a lot of residents get behind the new regulations. There was a lot of pushback before, but I think folks now have seen that you can have massive destruction in an urban area if you're not prepared. So it's harden your home. It's make sure you have a escape plan, a ready, set, go. Make sure that your family know where to go in the case of emergency. But it's just preparation and making sure that you make it as hard as possible for your house or your home to catch fire. It's little education goes a long way. So this is just trying to get everyone as educated as possible to be able to be as resilient as possible, to understand the options that are out there, whether it being able to have a pump on your pool to distribute water for the fire department. We have stickers that go on your front door or the front of your house, or like you said, a whole home sprinkler system, or just hardening your eaves and making sure that those embers can't get into the attic and can't get up under the eaves and actually start those fires, which is one of those things that you saw in Altadena and Pacific Palisades. The homes that had been hardened were much more resilient, and that's why you would see 7 or 8 homes that were completely destroyed and one that seemed to be impervious. I think it's all because of construction techniques and making sure that you have cut back the foliage and there's just nothing to burn next to the house to help it catch fire.
Lastly, the fire department did some demonstrations on how to use a fire extinguisher, which a lot of people don't know how to properly use. They didn't know that they expire, things just to look out for in your own house.
Well, that's true. One of the big things in anything for fire safety is maintenance. And you have to make sure that it's current, whether it's a fire extinguisher or a sprinkler system or your smoke alarms or your carbon monoxide alarms. You have to make sure that the batteries are there and you've done the maintenance on them. Fire extinguishers also, if you haven't had training, a lot of people will point their fire extinguishers at the top of the flames, and you need to extinguish it at the source. So having the training, looking at what LA County Fire provides for us in training on how to use a fire extinguisher safely and effectively can really knock something down quickly before it gets out of control.
And that will do it for today's show. We hope you've learned more about fire safety. And for even more information, please go to our website at rpvca.gov. I'm Maria Serrao, and we'll see you next time around the peninsula.